In this battle, we are taking on a fan of the channel, and I assume this must be his alternate account or something like that. So anyways though, shout out to him for the battle and for the acknowledgement. So you can see right off the bat that he has an intimidating team. I mean, I don't even know what mega he's using right now. So he has Alakazam and Manectric, both of which are good megas to choose from. And I was thinking probably Manectric because Alakazam has viability outside of its mega form, whereas Manectric really doesn't to the same extent that Alakazam does. So I was expecting his Manectric to be his mega. And I do have to say that this is a scary team. So first off, I can also see that Ninja. So I was thinking Amoonguss would probably be the best lead because if it's Manectric, then I mean, like if you went for like a wall switch or a flamethrower, then I could just go for a spore and it'd be nice. And if we wall switched into his Roserade, then it would also be fine because then I could go right into Heatran, and that would be a better matchup than like switching into Roserade is better than switching into Manectric in simple terms. And it was Ninjask, I could go for a Clear Smog to shut down his status or his setup moves. So anyways, off the line I wanted to go for a Spore, and this guy is actually really smart. I suppose because he's probably a viewer of the channel, he knew what to expect. So he went straight for a substitute, which shut down my Spore. And right off the bat now, I have to take care of this guy's this substitute, and I have to shut him down before he Baton passes into another Pokemon. And I will say, Baton Pass and awaiting strategies are typically seen as uncompetitive, which is why they're banned from standard play. Although, I mean, in this case, now we're in the battle, I can't really complain about it now, I just gotta deal with it. So, now I have to take care of this Ninjask, and I was thinking, well, I feel like I should go into Mandibuzz here, because if this guy has like Aerial Ace or something, it's not going to be nice for my Amoonguss, and I don't want to go and absorb that, which is why I figured that Mandibuzz would be a good move right here. So he goes for a Swords Dance, and that's not fun because he's really starting to get stacked. And so the good thing is, I mean, his main Pokemon he could probably switch into is going to be his his Aegislash, because that would actually benefit from all these attack views. So anyways, here I go for a foul play, and unfortunately it misses. And now I see that this guy is really getting set up. I mean, he's got the Swords Dance up, he's got a lot of speed. So now I'm thinking, well, this is probably a good time to go into my Amoonguss, because I can hit him with a Clear Smog. And the plan was that Clear Smog should reset all of the stat changes that the opponent made in this battle. So I was hoping that it would work in my favor here, which is why I decided to go for it. Now, this guy, he starts going for Double Team, which is going to be a problem, because I mean, Awaken, if like for a lot of my other Pokemon, I want to start missing my attacks. Now the good thing with Clear Smog is it has 100% accuracy, but one thing I really don't like is that for it to actually have its effects, it has to hit the opponent. Like, really, how I think it should have worked was that the moment I hit his substitute, all the stat changes would get reset, but unfortunately that's not the case here. But anyways, I mean, he really can just stay in and start substituting, because I mean, I take out his substitute with Clear Smog and I have perfect accuracy, so he can't really do it forever, especially because Ninjask does not have that much HP. So I mean, right off the bat he goes for a Baton Pass, and the unfortunate thing is he goes straight into his Aegislash, which is actually immune to my Clear Smog. And you have to consider that not only is this immune to my Clear Smog, but this Pokemon is an Uber's Pokemon, and there's a reason it's an Uber's Pokemon. It's not just because it's like just happens to be there. This is one of the strongest Pokemon in the game, with 150 offensive stats on attack form and 150 in all defensive stats. So I mean, this is going to be a problem. And he goes right for a Shadow Sneak. I went for the Spore because I need this guy asleep. And the good thing is we are able to administer that successfully. Although my Amoonguss is now kind of maimed, so I know that this is probably a good time to switch out. Now I was looking at Miltank, but I was like, well, that's probably not a good play, because I'm pretty sure that this guy has Sacred Sword, because that's what a lot of Aegislash users are going to typically run. So I was thinking, well, Sizer would probably be a good play here, because a knockoff right now would do some really good damage. And I just need damage on this Aegislash, because I know there's no way he's going to be able to heal. So I was also thinking, well, maybe this would force him out into a switch, which is why I decided to go right for a knockoff on this man. So unfortunately, he does actually wake up on the first turn, and that's also partly why I didn't want to go into Heatran. I was thinking, well, if he wakes up, then he can just Sacred Sword and one-shot my Heatran, and I need that later on for this game to take care of his Roserade and all that. So anyways, the unfortunate thing is we missed our knockoff, and he goes for a Sacred Sword, which is enough to one-shot my Sizer. It's not really a surprise because he's at +6 with 150 base attack, so there's not really any chance Sizer would have lived that. So now I go run into Mandibuzz. Now, I probably should have just really started with Mandibuzz in the first place rather than Sizer, but I don't know, I figured that Sizer would be a bit better, I guess, because of the damage, but I mean, in hindsight, Mandibuzz would have been the better play. So anyways, the good thing is, just by the inch of a hair, Mandibuzz is able to survive the Sacred Sword on 30 HP. That's an insane clutch, and it's able to land the foul play. So I have to say, Mandibuzz really did save me here, and I have to appreciate it for that. So now we've taken care of his Aegislash, and that's great. And now I kind of know what to expect, because I can't really answer his Ninjask with Spore, but I know that Amoonguss basically can now clear Smog Spam, and I can just keep doing it, and once he's Baton passes into something else, there's nothing he has that resists it, so that basically will shut down all of his efforts to, you know, to start sweeping or whatnot. So anyways, he goes right into Manectric, and I'm like, well, now I'm kind of scared because this could have like Wall Switch or something. So I was looking at Alakazam, and I was thinking, well, if this was a Mega, that would have been perfect, because I could have traced his Lightning Rod if he had it, and then I would have been immune to Wall Switch. So I mean, I don't know. I was really having to think about this right here. So now I have to figure out who I'm going to switch into. And I'm thinking, well, Amoonguss is kind of predictable. Although, I mean, even if he goes for like a Flamethrower or a Hidden Power Ice, it's not going to hurt too much, because Amoonguss has really good special defense for the most part. So he goes for a Flamethrower, great prediction right here, and it does some pretty good damage, although it's not, you know, detrimental. Especially because, I mean, this doesn't have any boosters like Choice Specs or Life Orb, so it's not really that scary. So anyways, here I'm thinking, well, I should go into Heatran, because he's probably going to go for round 2, and that is in fact what he decides to do. So now that's really nice, because my fire type attacks are going to be amplified by that. So now off the line, I was thinking, well, I probably should go for a Stout Rock here, because that's going to limit a lot of his switch game, and doing that will help me out a lot, especially in the later stages of this battle. So I get that off, and that's great. And now I'm thinking I should go for a Magma Storm. Now before that, he went for a Paralysis, which is inconvenient, but it's not too bad, especially because I have Motank here to deal with that. And then, you know, Heatran isn't the worst Pokemon to get paralyzed. So the good thing is I'm able to land my Magma Storm, and it is enough to one-shot this dude. And the good thing is, with the effects of Magma Storm, his Focus Sash is invalidated, so it did turn out to be a far better move than Earth Power, which would have had to be a 2-shot. And another additional benefit was that if you decide to switch out, whatever goes in is going to get hit like an absolute truck. So right here he goes into his Alakazam, and you would think, well, why don't you stay in and go for Magma Storm with your fire moves amplified and whatnot. Well, you have to consider that when Alakazam Mega Evolves, it's got the ability Trace, and it's basically going to copy my Flash Fire. So if I went for a Magma Storm, it's not going to affect this Alakazam. He's just going to absorb it, and he can probably hit me pretty hard if he has like a Focus Blast or something. So it's not at all worth staying in, which is why I decided to switch out into my Motank. Now I was just really praying that this guy didn't have Focus Blast and had Shadow Ball instead, because if he did, then I would be immune to it, and that would be great. And I mean, luckily in this specific battle, this guy is running Shadow Ball rather than Focus Blast, and his last move is actually Energy Ball, which really isn't that great. So I mean, like for Alakazam at least, you benefit more from running Psychic, Focus Blast, and Shadow Ball. And I probably will change my set in the future to make Alakazam more usable, because like really in this battle it wasn't that great, and I don't think Recover is as useful or Calm Mind as having something like Shadow Ball to cover other Psychic types. So anyways, I go straight for the Paralysis, because if I can get that off, this Alakazam won't be a big issue anymore. And luckily, Motank is able to survive the Psychic, although at low HP, and I am able to land my Paralysis when it counted the most. So now this Alakazam is paralyzed, and I'm in a pretty good position in this battle, because now I can actually deal with it. Like if I didn't get this paralyzed, I think I would have gotten swept by this guy, but luckily I did, so that's all that matters. So now I went right into Mandibuzz. I was expecting another Psychic, and well, he actually just got paralyzed, so that's fine. And even if he wasn't, I mean, it wouldn't be an issue. So I know that this guy probably doesn't have Focus Blast, because he would have used it already if he had it. So he went for an Energy Ball, which is his last coverage move. I'm much. Oh yeah, so it makes sense actually why that hit me neutrally, because with Roost I lost my flying type. Although I do remember initially I was confused on why I did so much damage. That makes sense. So anyway, I know that this guy is gonna have to withdraw, so I went for a U-turn. He goes into Roserade, which is not really a big problem because, you know, with this U-turn right here, I mean, I can just switch out and go into whatever I want to. So you might think that Heatran is the definitive play here, because it basically shuts down Roserade, but I was like, well, nah, that's not gonna work if he goes into Alakazam, which is why I was thinking about going to my own Alakazam. Although I was also partly thinking, if I go into my own Alakazam, if he went into his Alakazam again, that would be a problem. So I was really thinking twice about it, so I wasn't sure which would be more productive for me, because I mean, both of them would work, because I could even go into Heatran and then go for an Earth Puffer. Although, I mean, I wasn't sure that's like, you know, the optimal play in this situation. I was also looking at Motank, because if I could get a heal ball off, then I could get my Heatran back in the game in good condition. So, I mean, I was debating about this, because at the same time, this guy does not fully know what my Alakazam has. Now, if he's a viewer of my channel, he will know what moveset I've ran in the past, but he wouldn't know if I change it up. And I do plan to change it up at some point to add additional courage to my Alakazam. So, anyways, I went into Alakazam, because I was thinking, well, even if he goes into his own Alakazam, Psychic should at least do some decent damage, because I mean, Alakazam has like 175 special attack after Mega Evolving. That's huge. So I mean, it should kind of intimidate the opponent into wanting to switch out, or I mean, well, not switch out, just like it should just be intimidating. And if this guy knows me, he's gonna expect me to make a prediction. So he might think I'm going to go for a Shadow Ball. So anyways, here I decided to just play it safe and go for a Psychic, because I mean, that's really the best move I can do in this situation. It has no losses in other words. I mean, if he goes into his own Alakazam, it should do decent damage, and it's the best hit I can fire off towards it. And if he stays in, it's going to definitely one-shot this Roserade. There's no way he's going to be able to take a Psychic from 175 special attack, stab, and super effective damage. So, I mean, the good thing is we do trace this guy's natural cure, which is going to be nice, because if he had some status, or if he wanted to use a Pokemon that had status, he could just switch out and basically void that out. So, anyways, the Psychic is able to take out the Roserade. He probably stayed in, expecting me to go for like a Shadow Ball or something, which is perfectly fine. So now I was waiting to see what he has to bring out for my Alakazam. And one thing I was also considering was not Mega Evolving on the first turn, because Magic Guard is a really good ability. So I was thinking if I stayed in and we went for like a Toxic or something, then that would be perfectly fine, because I mean, it wouldn't do anything to my Alakazam with Magic Guard at the moment. So I mean, I don't know. I was considering a lot of things, but I figured that this Mega Evolving it would be the best play. So anyways, he goes back into Ninjask, and this prompts me to switch out. And that's because I don't know what kind of moveset this guy fully has. Like, if he has X Scissor, it would probably be enough to take care of my Alakazam, and there's no point like trying to stay in and find out what's up with this Ninja. So I decided to switch out and go right into Amoonguss. So he goes for a double team, trying to do this evasion strategy again. But I mean, this is no longer an issue, because he doesn't have a Steel type or Pokemon that's immune to my poison attack. So I can go right for the Clear Smog, and his Baton Pass here proves to be unsuccessful. So even though he goes into his Alakazam, I mean, my Clear Smog hits him and resets his evasion or whatever. Now, the unfortunate thing is he goes in and traces my Regenerator, which is really smart, because now when he switches out, he's going to get some HP back. But, I mean, we are able to remove his stat changes. And now doing this too is going to kill his Ninjask, because he can't really switch in without it dying to the Stud Rocks. So, I mean, I see that as a W. So, anyways, here, I'm thinking, well, Mandibuzz is probably my best play here, because I know I can wall this Alakazam. He doesn't really have anything to take care of this. I mean, if he had Focus Blast, that probably would have been a problem, but, I mean, this guy is not running Focus Blast. He's only running moves that I resist. So, I mean, if you're watching this video, I would recommend you change up your moveset, get Focus Blast in there rather than Energy Ball, and this Alakazam will be a beast. So, anyways, he goes for Energy Ball, because that's really his best move, and it's the smartest move to use in this sequence, because every time I go for Roost, I lose my Flying type, so he gets a lot more damage off of it. So now I'm thinking, well, I should just go for the foul play, because I mean, there's nothing really that wants to have to take that in. So he goes right into his Crobat, and like I said, this does not want to take in a foul play. So this is going to be pretty nice, because the Stud Rocks do pretty good damage, and then the foul play takes him all the way down to red HP, which basically means that one more hit is gonna kill this guy. And I'm thinking, well, Crobat can't really do anything to my Mandibuzz, so I may as well just go for another foul play and finish him off. Now, of course, he's gonna be able to outspeed and fire off a hit of his own, but I know it's not gonna be enough to take care of this Mandibuzz because my Mandibuzz is a physical wall. And I have to say, I've really have started to like this guy. Like, I've never used Mandibuzz before, but man, is it a great Pokemon. It's just so reliable. It basically wins a lot of the 1v1s against physical attackers, and it has a great typing that's helping out a lot against Pokemon like this Alakazam right here. It really has been the MVP of this battle. So anyways, now I know he only has 2 Pokemon left. This Alakazam, which is paralyzed, and this Ninjask, which is going to die to the Stop Rocks when it switches in. So I decided to fire off a foul play. Now, obviously, or not really obviously, but it might be surprising to some, does not KO the Alakazam. And it's not because Alakazam has defense, it's because Alakazam doesn't have any attack. So foul play doesn't hit it too hard, although that's still a lot of damage right there. So now I decided to go for a U-turn because I'm thinking, well, I may as well switch out and bring in something else like Heatran or my own Alakazam, which can fire off a really hard attack. Because like I said, getting them in is really nice because now I know he doesn't really have a check to this Alakazam, which was his own Alakazam before. So I mean, this can now wreak destruction if it wanted to. So he goes into his Ninjask, and unfortunately for him, it dies to the Stop Rocks. But that right there was GG. It was actually a good battle. Like, this guy could have easily won if he just had the right moves. And I gotta say, I did really enjoy it. So shout out to him once again. I'll see you guys in the next one.